has come to the front. As a spirit person, your own spirit too will come out and stand in front. Now listen, what you are feeling as a first thought in your heart was actually what your spirit has interacted with that spirit about. So it's going to signal and communicate to your soul. If your own soul now communicates here, the cycle is completed. Let me have more people. Let me make it easier. Call somebody to be your soul and your body and your spirit. This is the body, daddy. You to call the soul and call soul and spirit. Okay, so this is the body. Normal arrangement, the way we see ourselves in the world. The body is in front, the soul, then the spirit. Normal arrangement, the body, this is the teenager. Alright? The soul, and the spirit. I deliberately address it like this. In fact, let me make it easier. Okay, you go and sit. I need somebody taller and bigger. Come. Okay. You see? She looks slim, Abi, like a teenager. But her real person is this person. When I was telling you that don't just assume it's a young person. You have been in existence and she has been in existence the same period. Both of you are ancient of days. So when you saw her and you had this prompting, the prompting came from these two men behind you. They prompted you. This lady talked to her. And you made up your mind. You were walking towards that to go and listen. Our spirit know what is going to happen. It will first of all be with our soul. Our spirit will be telling our soul. So gradually you will realize that she's trying to do another thing. She will begin to move in another direction. Do you get it? Trying to avoid you. That is the working of our soul. Because our spirit is telling our soul. But if that is not working, you are stubborn, Abi. The spirit will come. I know the spirit cannot be seen. Will come and stand in front. Do you see this? As a spirit person, your whole spirit too will come and stand. Now, when spirit meets spirit interacts. This spirit knows the state of this spirit. This spirit knows the mission of this spirit. They have a dialogue under nanoseconds. All right? Under nanoseconds. They have a simple dialogue. And based on that dialogue, this spirit will feed your soul back with an information. Are you getting it? Once the spirit, feed the soul back, information. Once the spirit feeds the soul the information, you will suddenly realize that something you didn't plan to say. You didn't realize that. It just prompted up inside of you. Now, when your mouth, the mouth is in the body. When your mouth decides to say it, it is the hair of this person, the body, that will hear it. Now, look at the circle I'm bringing. Once this ear hear it, the soul will get it. But the spirit have had it before. Look at it. Before the body had it, our spirit has had it. But our soul did not hear it. Our body did not hear it. But now, your spirit has addressed the spirit. You now go backward again. Choose the soul to the body. You address the body too hears it. And our soul hears it. So there is a complete communication. There is a yielding. That's what completes it. But when you don't go by your prompting, you now brought out your common sense statements. This we hear. This we hear. This will not hear. Unless there is a complete communication between the three, people don't yield. Have your seat. Unless there is a complete communication, people are not willing. So you just realize sometimes that some people are just stubborn. You have done all you can do. That is why teenage ministry goes beyond counseling. Is somebody with me? It goes beyond counseling. Counseling is trying to make the soul to reason. What you need to do is to compel. Compel. Jesus talked about a story. A man who prepared a banquet. And he said to the servants, Go and invite people to come and hit the banquet. And they came back. They said, all the people invited, they did not come. What was the response of the master? He said, now go to the streets and go and compel them to come. Listen, when you invite people and they don't come, what do? Go and compel them. When you counsel and counsel, stop counseling, compel them. Compel. I will never forget when I was a teenager. I was not even a full teenager. I was just stepping into, I should be about 8, 10 or 11. About 11. I was stepping into teenage. I know one crook in church. Crooks also come to church. Sure you know. I want crook to show off. They come to church boldly. Because they are so sure that there is nothing the pastor can preach that can convert them. They are so no. When you have got to a level, you are not. You see those ones running away from church, they are not yet in the real part. The ones that are deep in it, they are bold to come to church. They don't mind. There is nothing, no utterance. They are so sure, nothing can convince them. He used to come to church. So they used to talk to him. They counsel, they do everything, nothing works. One day, evening service. I don't know what happened that there was an evening service on that Sunday. I just realized one big tree in front of the church, beside the church. I saw this our youth president. He just called the guy. He said, come. The guy went with big chest again as usual. So nothing, when they are not sure that there's nothing they can say. The guy just went there. And the tree was so big, it has roots outside on the floor already. Very big tree. So he said, sit down. So the two of them sat on the roots. So all of us, small boys, were watching. All those who that lady, and I will continue to share. We were watching from afar. You know what this president just did? He just put his hand. He just did like this to the guy. The guy just fell down. Under 1 minute, the guy was sweating. He became conscious by shouting. And when he came back, under 1 minute, the guy was prostrating for our bed. He said, I want to be born again. Help me, I want to be born again. All of us don't understand what happened. He didn't talk. See, there are times to stop talking. There are times to stop talking. When we were getting to understand better, we realized that what the person did for him was to send him on an errand to fire. So when he did like that, it's not ordinary hand that you brought out from a bar, an okra, that will send somebody to that kind of journey. He went under 1 minute. The guy had seen years in hell. Under 1 minute, he saw years in hell. And he was sweating. This sweat now is like they pour bucket of water on his head. His clothes was soaked. And he was I born again. I want that Jesus. I want that Jesus. Hey, but that me, I want that Jesus. The person they were begging is now begging back. Compelling. So the master said, go to the streets and compel them. When you are going to compel people, you deal with their spirits. You compel people by dealing with their spirits. Leave arguments. Compel their spirits. They will be the one that will be looking for you. They will be the one that will be looking for you. When you compel their spirits. How do you compel their spirit? Your spirit must do the compelling. We compel spirit in the place of prayer. We compel spirit in the place of prayer. You see, when you pray and you know what you are doing, your spirit is going to leave you. It will step out. And it will going to call, because you are interceding on just that person, it's going to call for that person's spirit and bring him out. Let me go to your field, your industry. Let's act drama. I've not been to those of Balawu's also. But I've watched it. They made us realize that they do it. E.g., Ishawu. And there was that red cloth like this. And he was doing like this. When I call you, you show up. That person was sleeping, In fact, in Ishawu, one was on the farm. What's Ishawu again? Ultimate power. I was much an adult. Before I knew it was not I am at anger. It was I am at anger. But then, you don't want to shock you. You better eat your food. I will call you Ayabatanga. Hey! You better eat the food. Ayabatanga. So they will call. Jaru will stand in front of that very clothes. At times he uses mirror. And he will call the person. And the person will show up. What showed up was the person's spirit. And they will give instruction to that spirit. And it will begin to happen in real life. So if they want to make the person mad, they will just tell the spirit, Latin-in-law, bossy wowo, abi, man-in-law, I'm-in-law, kinikon, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And the person will, and that person will just stand up where he is and begin to walk away. Who did they instruct? They instructed the spirit. What were they doing? They were compelling the spirits. Now, if these babalawos can have the fake, there is an original somewhere. The original is in your hand. You can compel people's spirits in the place of prayer. You give instructions. Listen, but before you give instruction, you must have someone. You see, summoning is the most difficult job, not instruction. That's why when they do it the first time, as usual, normal style, the person will not answer. The second time, the person will not answer. Then they will say, this is the third time you must answer. Then the third one, the person answer. You see, summoning the person is a real job. It's not instruction. You see, many of us in the place of prayer, we are too quick to give instruction to the spirit we have not summoned. Did you get that? In intercession, you are too quick to give instruction, yet you have not summoned the spirit. Today, as from today, you will be this, you will be this. You have not summoned the spirit. You are just speaking into the empty air. Your first job is to get the spirit to appear. Listen, when you do your intercession, you should get to a stage you will know the spirit is there. Is somebody with me? You should get to a stage you will know the spirit is there. Listen, it's not only summoning people's spirit. When you are praying, if you intensify your prayer at a level, you will know that spirits are gathering around you. At a point, you will know you are not alone. In fact, if you are somebody like me that pains, after a while, you will know that somebody is pacing after you. There are times I open my eyes, I check my door. Are my children awake? Which one of you? I pray in the dark. I don't pray in lights. You know that. I pray in the dark. I off light the lights. And I'm happy when there is no light in the middle of the night. That's when I pray more. I'll pray more. So I'm pacing around. So sometimes, as I visit, I would have to take one flashlight and check somewhere. Or on the light. Maybe one of those my boys is awake and is trying to look for something because they are always waking up to look for water. So maybe one of them is already, I'll be hearing the step. Then I check. None of them is around now. Do you get it? You see, you can pray to a stage you know that you are not alone. He said we are on Mount Zion in the company of innumerable angels, witnesses. You get to know. You see, that's why sometimes a song you don't know before you begin to sing it. It is not you singing the song. They were singing the song around you. And when they sing the song, first line, second line, you will know the song after the third line. By the time they go 1, 2, 3, you two will know the song. You see, it was because you have found yourself in the company of some beings, spiritual beings, and they were singing a particular song. Gradually, you two begin to sing the song, and it will begin to hum in your spirit. And after a while, you give it a voice. You don't know whether the song exists or it doesn't exist. And after a while, you begin to dance. You are not dancing because you want to dance. They are dancing. And if you are in the midst of dancers, you have no option but to dance. Dancing is communicable. Is somebody with me? Dancing is what? It's communicable. You can transfer the spirit of dancing. So when the innumerable people around you, and innumerable people, they are different kind of people. Don't just think of angels. There are those who cannot describe. Those that have eyes all over their body. You see, the book of Revelation is a terrible book to read. You try and picture it. How can you have eyes all over your body? Then there is no body. You don't have a body. How can you have eyes all over your body? See, there are terrible videos, and sometimes it's better God doesn't open your eyes to see those beings that you are doing dancing with, praise worship with, when you are praying alone. Because you won't come back to that prayer meeting again. When you see those beings. Let me give you a picture. I know you watch movies, so I'm not going to ask you if you watch movies. You watch those science fiction. where they have aliens come around. Have you noticed that aliens are always ugly? They are always ugly. But let me tell you, in the sight of the aliens, we are ugly too. If you can know the way they see you. You see, anything that does not look like you, you think it is ugly. Anything that does not look like you, do you get it now? So don't think those beings are ugly. It is because they don't look like you, so better don't see them. Enjoy their company. When you summon spirits, you will know you have summoned the spirits. Is somebody with me? You will know. Because summoning spirits means your spirit knows that he has company. Your spirit knows it's not your longer alone. There are people I'm talking with. So when you intercede persistently and consistently for someone, and oftentimes this thing doesn't happen in the first 1 minute. It doesn't happen in the first 2 minutes. Oftentimes someone will call when you're about giving up. When you're about giving up and closing the matter, the person appears. And then you dish out your instruction. You compel them. So that person gets back to in real life and begin to do what you have asked him or her to do. If you will be willing, you have to compel their spirits. If teenagers will yield more, we must engage in compelling their spirits more. Intercession must be our priority, not meetings. Is somebody with me? Not things club, not things meeting. Intercession must be our priority. Intercession must be the priority. If you are going to do a teams meeting for 1 hour, intercede for 5 hours. Determine what will happen in that 1 hour before you come for that 1 hour. Arrange it. Even those ones that will not come, go to their house in the spirit realm. Bring them, sit them down, finish teaching them, and tell them bye-bye before you now come back and do it physically. Are people going to be willing? Yes. But they will be willing if you compel them in the spirit. What challenge does it give to us? We must intercede more. What is intercession? What is intercession? What is intercession? Intercession is praying somebody into a picture you have of him. So as I see you like this is the you I've seen. Then I have another picture of you that I want. Then I pray you into that picture. Intercession is not about the gymnastic. In fact, if you are going to intercede, reduce your gymnastic. You didn't hear me? If you plan to intercede, don't be jumping up and down. Don't be shouting on top of your voice. You will soon be tired. People who do intercession, they are calm. In fact, you won't know they are praying. They are calm. Because it's going to take a long time. So you don't need to expend all your physical energy. Because you need your physical energy to pray. And that was what people must learn. So some of you fast. And you tell yourself, before I break, eat anything, I'm going to pray. Don't deceive yourself. At times it's advisable you eat. Have strength. Thank you, ma. Before you pray. Because when you have been not eating this morning, no sugar again, no glucose. And you are trying to pray. You too will be careful with your prayer. After praying for all of us, try. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Get energy. It was not your fasting that will get your prayer answered. Hello? It was not your fasting that get your prayers answered. Fasting just to make you more sensitive to God. It's to make you more spiritually sensitive. That's all. You cannot bribe God. You see, if it's by fasting, our brothers who have started their 30 days journey, all their prayers should be answered. In fact, by the time Tinubu sits on his mat like no Tinubu is fasting. Yeah. At the end of this month, Nigeria should be like Dubai. The president is fasting. The vice president is fasting. The deputy senate president is fasting. The speaker of the house is fasting. The chief justice is fasting. Lotuku. Can president, all of them. So they are all fasting. So at the end of all this wala, overnight, Nigeria should become Dubai. Because God should be seen. If 100 million people are fasting, should God not have mercy? But fasting does not bribe God. Fasting does not bribe God. So you must have that mentality. Calm down. If you are doing a long fast, should I tell you what you can do? Long fast. 7 days fasting. I'm not saying piri. You are doing 7 days, 20 days fast and everything. Let me teach one of these you can do. Pray at intervals. Alright? While fasting. When you plan to pray, pray a little and break. But eat. Go and sleep. Plan to wake up in the night. Put alarm. Every kind of thing. Tell people, I'm waking up by 12 o'clock. I'm waking up by 2 o'clock. Wake up. And then do your prayer. You will see the effect of your fasting on that prayer. Because you have gained glucose. So you can now push all you have fasted for. All the sensitivity you have received, you can now push it in the spirit realm. We're talking about intercession. Praying people into the picture you have seen. So it tells you you must have a picture for you are praying them into. You can't pray people into an arbitrary future. There must be a picture you must have. Is somebody with me? There must be a picture you must have. And this kind of picture, you don't design your own picture for people's life. Else, you will intercede in vain. He said, this thing we know, 1 John chapter 4. He said, when we pray according to his will, he hears us. You see, it's not about praying. Praying is not about how long you pray. It's about praying according to his will. So when you form a picture by yourself for a teenage boy, you are going to pray a wasteful prayer. Because it's not according to his will. So it tells you that even forming the picture, you must be able to discern God's will for that person. So when we talk about teenage ministry, you see that this is work. But we are not getting the results because we limit it to just counseling, addressing their soul and bodies. So if I'm going to intercede, sir, I must form a picture. If I'm going to form the picture, I must discover the picture. I must discover the picture. So one prayer will be, Lord, show me who Wunmi is. Show me the person you have created. Show me. You see, it's based on what God now shows you that you can now pray that person into. If you complete this circle, in the physical realm, you will meet people who are willing in your hands. They will be cooperative because you have compelled them in the spirit realm. What was the compelling you were doing? I know who they should be, and I'm pushing them to become that person. After finishing that job well, ordinary statement here is just completing the cycle. Everything I do in the physical realm is only completing the circle. Completing what I have done in the spirit realm and completing it. Compelling. Number 2, and I'll round up there. If I'm going to make somebody willing, if I'm going to compel somebody into obedience, I must be stronger and higher than the person. I must be stronger and higher. Even though we are age mates, remember I told you we are age mates, Abi? I must have gained some strength and some dimensions that person does not have. So that person will accept me. You must be higher. Higher in the spirit realm. In other words, you must have spiritual exposure more than the people you are dealing with. I don't think they are ordinary people. You don't know where their parents have taken them to when they were young. So don't think they are ordinary. You don't know where they have taken them to. You don't know the marks that have been put on their body. You don't know the gods that their parents are still sacrificing to on their behalf. They don't know. But their parents are making sacrifices on their behalf. You don't know. You see? Some of you are becoming mothers. You now appreciate your mothers more. There is no child that was ever raised without an altar. Is somebody with me? It won't last. There is no child that was raised without an altar. The type of altar is another matter. But there is an altar. So if you have a child who says my parent does not pray, there must be somebody who is building an altar on behalf of that child. And it may not be an altar they are just building. It may not be an altar that nobody has visited the altar for the last 60 years. But they've committed everybody in the family. They've committed them. That you must keep watching over all our children. All our grandchildren, keep watching over them. So there is an altar speaking on their behalf. And you want to come and interrupt their life with your Jesus something. You think it's going to happen like that? That altar is going to fight back. There are some ministers, when they have made up their plan to approach some people, they fall sick. And they quickly excuse it. I must have slept under mosquito. And they we went to mission field last week, so mosquito must have. Listen, the fact that mosquito bites you does not mean you should have malaria. Hello? Mosquito bite is not equal to malaria. I will prove it to you. Who created mosquito? Who created mosquito? God, have you? When God finished creation, what did he say about everything he created? It was good, okay? You did read the last verse of chapter 1. It was very good. So mosquito is very good. So for mosquito that was very good to now bite you and lead to something bad, the problem is not the mosquito. The problem is you. Positive times positive. Negative times negative. I will ask you again. Positive times positive. Negative times negative. So when do you have a negative result? When there is a positive and there is a negative, you have a negative result. Now God said mosquito is good, mosquito is positive. So for mosquito to bite you and it is equal to negative, who is the negative? So that tells you must rise beyond the notion. Malaria, mosquito bites me, malaria is coming. Is somebody with me? You must rise above that notion. Several mosquito bites, zero malaria. If I have feverish symptoms, I know what causes it. I disobeyed God's law. What is the God's law? There are two basic God's law you must never disobey. The law of good diet and the law of rest. If you disobey those laws, you will fall sick. The law of good diet. You are not eating well. Are you with me? Morning, we ate Indomie. Afternoon, Indomie. Evening, Indomie. The next day, Indomie. Sickness is coming. It's on your doorstep. So when malaria bites, you're already negative because you're already in disobedience. Then you don't rest. You don't rest. And I'm not saying you are feeling feverish. Why will you not feel feverish? Let me beg the person beside you. Eat well. And rest well. So some people, they are on the bed, though, they are lying down on the bed, though, they are not resting. Some people are sleeping, they are not resting. I didn't say you should sleep well. The law is not the law of sleep, it's the law of rest. Because you might sleep and not rest. You are sleeping and your mind is still calculating, working. So even in your dream, you continue your calculation and your workings. That liar. You are in your dream. You are still seeing your boss. You are seeing everything in your dream. And then you just tell somebody, I rested for 7 hours. It's a lie. You didn't rest. You were walking on the bed with your eyes closed. The law of rest will save you from many things. You know the punishment God gave to people that disobey the law of rest? It was death. He said, those who do not obey the law of Sabbath, what shall happen to them? He said, they shall die. It's death. They should be stoned to death. It's death. So we are the one cleaning ourselves when you don't rest. See, there are days you shut down everything. Let the world crash. Let the world end. Me, I am going to rest. Put on your TV. Bring out your laptop. Remove the window of your boss at work. They are calling you. Switch off your phone. Put on a movie. Episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4. Laugh. Stand up. Go and get ice cream. As you are getting that, the devil is telling you, hey, that is your last money in your account. Tell the devil, if it will be ice cream, I will be my last meal in this world. I will die a happy man. Put the bucket of ice cream. From morning till night, watch film. They brought lights. Go and wash your clothes. Clothes. Stay there. It is me and this film today. You finish season 1, you go online, you go and look for season 2. You see, till the time you know that, yes, I am okay. All the tension is gone. You see, you better don't kill yourself. If you kill yourself, they will continue the job. In fact, the next day, they will do interview for another. They will do interview. There is somebody on the line to take your job. You know when you did the interview, you are not the only person they interview. They only took you because they can only take one person. There is somebody on ground. The day you go, they will just call you. Sorry, were you done with interview 3 months ago? Yeah, you can come and start your job now. There is opening. You can come and start now. They won't even attend your burial. I'm not only talking about secular. You say it's because I'm teaching you this. Even in church work. An acquaintance died. I wasn't really close to him when he died. He died at around 40. I wasn't really close to him. But I'm now very close to the widow. They have been there for about 3 years now. I'm very close, going to 4 years. I'm very close to the widow now. One of the things that pained the widow was when they wanted, he knows the person I'm talking about. When they wanted to do the burial, the person had tumor. Was lecturing in the university, was very active in church. He has not been ordained a pastor, but he was almost like a pastor. He had tumor, he rushed to look for money for the surgery and everything. Upon all, the millions they spent, he died. One of the things that shook the wife was not that the husband died. Was the instruction that came from the headquarters of their church that they must not do burial in the church. That we don't do burial of young people in our church. A man that served the church, spent money, spent energy, almost killed himself from work to church, from church to work. They hardly see him at home. And they said they cannot do that. Then what are they going to do? They should go and look for a cemetery. They will look for one of our pastors to come and pray at the cemetery. It was the former church that they were going before they crossed to that church that said Kilo Debe. That they told her and the family, bring the body, bring everything. The church he left without formality. You know, there is a way to leave a church. He left the church, he just stopped coming. You know when he just and they came to greet you. Why didn't you come? I was busy. Then they came to tell them, I was busy. You didn't tell them that you are not coming again. You just disappear from the church. Pastor begin to call you. You are not picking call. You know that kind of thing. It was that same church that brought to organize to bring the body, brought the wife, and brought it to the church and did a burial service. Brought the coffin to the church, did burial service, and carried everything and went to the graveside. They now got there, they now met one of those pastors. They ignored them, then you go. Now, what lesson did the wife learn? So, for all this man did, I know the irony. What he was doing in church, by the following Sunday, they expected another person to be doing the same thing. Tell the person beside you, rest. Put on the fan. Do you get it? Put on the fan. Remove all your former clothes. Be very simple. You alone. Lock the door so nobody, if anybody knock, I'm not at home. Stand in front of it. Put enough food in front of you alone. Pizza, meat pie, burger. The devil will be telling you, all your saving is going. It's going into my body. It's going into my body. One of the lessons I learned very young in life. I went to visit my brother in school. I was on campus in Akure, so I went to Ife to go and see him. And he saw me. He said, "Okay, you are not eating." I said, "We are talking as if we are not from the same parent. The money is not enough in the first place. And there are still handouts with different things to buy with the money. So why will I now use all the money for food?" He said, "The greatest investment you can ever make is in your body. It is because you are alive and healthy that you are buying handouts." I remember the only carryover I had in university. It was a day to the paper. I felt sick. We had another paper. As I was coming from that examination hall, I just felt something at my back. What is this? Another one came like this. Another one came like this. I managed to get to my room. They brought drugs. They brought everything. You see all this rule of sisters do not go to brother's room, sisters do not touch brother. It is because there is no emergency. Sisters were massaging my body. They removed my shirts. You see, rules are good though. But when rules meet life situation, rules will bend. They were massaging, hot water, cold water, different method. They were feeding me, putting food inside my mouth. As it's going like this, it will come out. Allah said, they were holding my mouth like this. Why does that to sister? Brothers don't have that kind of patience. Their own is, we have bought the drug, you should use the drug, you should. And they will be giving warning. Hey, you better let the drug go so that you will recover. Stop vomiting. As if I'm the one vomiting. They will be telling you, stop vomiting. As if I wanted to vomit. So they were holding everything, forcing me to take everything. By the time it was getting to 10 p.m., two of my classmates, where my class, females, they also fellowship gym in their own fellowship too. They came to my room. They were reading, my handout was there, I cannot read it. They were reading my handout to me. Can you imagine? They were reading the handout to me. And they were telling me what was inside it. Do you understand? I don't understand. Another one will put this in my eyes. What we are saying is this. Imagine, I saw the mathematics, they were reading mathematics into my ear. Actually walking. They read and read and read. They got tired. They were crying on my behalf. And the test, I performed poorly in the test. I was not the only one. All of us performed poorly in that test. All of us performed poorly. Out of 30, I think the highest was maybe 10 back. We got 10 over 30. So all of us thought that exam is the real place to catch up. Around 4 a.m. I know that kind of secret that you can't sleep. You are uncomfortable, but you can't sleep. Around 4 a.m., they saw me. I was in tears. How was I in tears? It was obvious. Carryover is here. It was here. And I was not crying because of carryover. I was looking at the testimony has been dented somewhere. I got to the examination hall. They packed me to the examination hall. With bottles of Limca, bottles of Schweppes, everything. They brought the question. I look at the question. Ordinary instruction, I cannot interpret. Ordinary instruction. Answer so I cannot interpret. I was reading and reading and reading. The thing did not go. So I stopped reading the instruction. I tried to read number 1. It was as if it was not written in English. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. I started again from instruction. By the time I tried it again, I can't even interpret the whole thing. The only thing I knew was I could write my matric number. After 30 minutes, I carried my answer script. I went to the vigilator. I said, hey, you are finished. I said, I have finished. Then he corrected my script. He looked, he saw empty. He said, come back here. Come back. I said, sir, I am on my way to Lagos, to my mother's house. This boy was not there. He said, tell me I'm going to do it. I said, sir, hold it. From there, I went straight to the gate, school gates. I didn't pick anything. Before coming for that exam, I had borrowed money for transport fare. I went to the gate. Lagos. I jumped in. I didn't know how I got to Lagos. I said, no, I appeared in Lagos. I didn't know how I got to my mother's house. I said, no, I got to my mother's house. And then they gave me the mother's touch. My brother told me that thing long before then. He said the greatest investment is in your body. I'm not saying you should not save, but may you not spend your savings in the hospital. Priority. Eat well. Rest well. Any other thing you can do after that, what should you do? You see, what have I said to us so far as I close? I've told us to make them willing, compel their spirits by intercession. Intercession is praying people into the picture you have of them. Not just a picture you have, a picture of them you discover in God. I've emphasized that you must be higher than them, all right, to be able to compel them. Your own spirit will be higher than their spirits. You don't know what their spirit have been exposed to. And I was trying to explain that every child that grew up had an altar that serves that person's life. So you don't know the altars you are facing. That's why you must be highly spiritual yourself. To compel them, you'll be high in the spiritual, higher. You must be higher morally. And number 3, you must be higher in achievements. You must be higher in achievements. Do not hesitate to display your achievements before teenagers. You are not proud. It's a strategy. Do not hesitate. I'm through with my master's. I had PhD grade. In fact, presently I've already started the process for my PhD. Higher achievements. When they encounter somebody who has been where they plan to be, they give attention. I'm saying you must be higher spiritually, higher morally. I don't need to talk more about that one. What you are asking, they must not find fault in you. You see, they are looking for perfect people. Even though you know that one might not be possible, but you must appear perfect. At this stage of your life, if there are things you are begging God for, it should not be things that are obvious. Is somebody with me? At this stage, you should not be lying, stealing, all those. No. It will be thoughts of the heart. Is somebody listening to me? It will be the way your heart works. That should be your struggle with God now. That God help me with this. But apart from God, you and the devil, human beings should not know about it. It should not be over. It should not be seen. I am ready. Then I say number 3, higher in achievements. So you must, you to yourself, you must dream more. You must progress in life. You must do more things in life. Achieve more. And talk about it freely with them. When I was a teenager, one of my teenage pastors, then was not even a pastor, he was just brother George Motosho. They have been trying to talk to us. We don't hear. In fact, I don't attend teenage fellowship in church. I don't attend. We are too big to attend teenage fellowship. We tell them, I will not attend. Everybody will not be a teenager. I think they don't know before. I think they don't know before. I say, I will not. Everybody will not be seeing me. I know that I'm a teenager. No. So we don't attend. But once in a while, they will corner us. We will sit us down and try. We don't listen. Then we didn't see him for a while. Then he came back. Uncle Georgie, we didn't see him for a while. I went for service here, NYSC. I went to camp. There is a place in camp called Mami. So by the time he started Mami like this, all of us started listening. He said, when we get to Mami, people are drinking, people are smoking, people are hitting, people are. We have never been to camp before now. In fact, we have never been to university. So we don't. So all those things was captivating us. We were listening to Mami. And then it got to a point. So what he was trying to tell us is, we better know what we are doing on time. He said, you better be strong. If you want to be strong, be strong. I've never forgotten what he said. He said, in camp, he said, a lady took his hand and put it on her breast. Uncle, he said, my boys, let me deceive you. Something in me told me to grab it more. I was already grabbing it and I remembered I should not grab it and I removed my hand. Then the lady took my hand and put it under her skirt. You know, I said, Uncle George, you know for? He said, you know for? I said, he's strong, go. Where? You know, I said, that is why I'm begging all of you to be strong. Because the day will come, you will be in front of the devil. When he said that, our head calmed down. Do you get what I'm saying? Our head calmed down. And we realized that if we don't want to fall when we go to Mami, we better learn the strength the way this man learned his strength from teenage age. There are things we build in life. If you start talking about them, they will calm down and listen to you. Because they've never been there. It is news to them. They will even be the one probing you and asking you to tell them more. Around that time again, somebody was gisting me. And he said, I was still in secondary school. He said, start praying a prayer point from now. I said, what's the prayer point? He said that when we are going to post you for NYSC, they should not post you to Calabar. I said, I said, Uncle, what do you mean by that? He said, better be praying. He said, if I had the opportunity of people telling me when I was younger, I would have prayed though. I said, what happens? I said, they posted me to Calabar. He said, you know what the guy said? You can't blame me. You know what, based on this experience, he said, there is no guy that escaped the Calabar girls. That was it. He said, nobody escaped. He said, all the ones speaking in tongues, nobody escaped. I had somebody told me one. I had another one tell me another thing. Was that not telling me that you better be strong in the Lord? You better learn how to be strong in the Lord. Which I got to camp after several years. And ladies were proposing to me. Do you get it? Proposing. Holding me. Let's go to that side. Let's go there. But they didn't know that I have taken a lot of Ajesara. They have warned me about that stage before. That many people threw away their faith in 3 weeks. When I went to welcome the batch B, I saw somebody I knew. He was a pastor in my campus. Are you listening to me? When I went to welcome the batch B on camp, he was a pastor in my campus. The first time he saw me, he greeted me. And somebody asked, do you know? I said, I was a pastor on campus. Yeah, he said, this one? I said, yes, now. Tell you clearly, only don't worry. Then one day, I was passing Mami, and they showed me the guy. Said, is that not the guy you call a pastor? I did like this. Your achievements. You are running PhDs. Your achievements. job promotions, talk freely about them amidst teenagers. Is somebody with me? It puts you on a higher pedestal. And when we are higher than somebody, it's easier to compel that person in any direction you want him to compel. Some of this compelling doesn't mean their souls will be saved, but they won't take stupid decisions in their life. That's the person you are saying sorry for. You see, some of the rescue we are doing, it doesn't mean that they necessarily be born again. But we are going to rescue them from making mistakes. So there are mistakes you can make. You are becoming born again. Doesn't erase those mistakes. You get pregnant at teenage age. When you get born again later on in life, does it erase it? Answer me, does it erase it? We are doing rubbish. You contacted HIV/AIDS. When you get born again later on, does it erase it? It doesn't erase it. So some of these compelling might not rescue their spirit. They might not become born again. But at least you will help them not to make mistakes that they will regret for life. I'm true. Are there questions? What are the questions? Yes, ma'am. I think people are hungry. So.
Thank you very much, sir. I wanted to ask about this new age where teenagers are being influenced by what they have access to, especially on the internet. And you talked about approaching them from a spiritual angle. Most of them actually have even grown in church to actually know the normal routines and everything like that. But how do you help a teenager whose mind is like, I need to get money fast, breadwin and do things for their family? And because since most of them now tell me that school na scam, and no matter how you tell them your achievements, they feel like you don't know what you're talking about. Like, in this day and age, I need to. So how do you help the mind of teenagers of this generation that are looking for quick money, and at the same time they know the routine of church but do not know Christ?
They have a form of godliness, but they deny the power thereof. Remember Paul talking about him coming with a whip. Do you remember? Do you think it was a physical whip? Do you think it was a physical whip? The Corinthian church repented before Paul came. They repented. If you check the transition from 1 Corinthians to 2 Corinthians, before Paul showed up, they had repented. Because Paul dealt with them. That's when you talk about our weapons of warfare are not carnal. I remember that scripture now. That's to Corinthians church. Okay. He said, for our weapons he was trying to deal with them. And he told them, our weapons, don't think I'm going to come with physical method to deal with you. For our weapons of warfare, because the problem is not normal, it's spiritual warfare. Our weapons of warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty, to God. Pulling down strongholds, making sure that you come into full obedience. Is that what it's all about? That's what we do. You see, what we need is the patience to take them one by one. That is what is missing. We don't have the patience. We are in a hurry. You want to take 10 teenagers at the same time. And even those 10, after 2 days, you want to move on. That patience of taking them one, just one, this one. Lord, you save this guy or I die. Remember John Knox? He said, God would rather save Scotland, or he will die. The Bible said he knelt down on snow, and snow was melting down by the heat he generated in the place of prayer. Snow melted under him. He generated enough heat. He was ready to die for them. Patience. I didn't get to where I am alive by hasty uncles and aunties. It's by people who made me their life projects. People who made me their life projects. People who God showed the picture of who He created me to be. And they made me their life project. And they, you see, I dropped some habits without knowing why I dropped them. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. I dropped some things in life without knowing why I dropped them. I remember one day, GS2, they were going to the bush. My school was in this university community, so we had a lot of bush. They were going inside the bush. We used to go to that bush. That day, we had planned, once that bear go, we are already to the bush. And as we were there, when we got to the last building, before the bush will start, I stopped and I went back. Okoyalo, I didn't know what brought me back. But I now know better. Because what they did in the bush that day, they are unmentionable things. But somebody was interceding, sat down, and made sure that Anise, you this boy, this is what you will become. Not this direction you are going in your life. Let me ask us, can we be patient and take people one-on-one? Don't take your teenagers as a group. They have names. So don't come and say, Lord, my teenagers, help them to be more reasonable, help them to understand you. Lord, light, send light to my teenagers. Who did they give birth to? And they call teenagers. So the angel coming with the torchlight of heaven to shine light, he's looking for teenagers. He's looking for who is teenagers. There is, are you the one? You are not the one. You are Wumi. Yeah. Learn how to mention names before God. Mention names. And be exact. Don't quote God. When we pray, we quote God. Especially men. You quote God. You don't quote God. You are praying. Lord, it's common with brothers. Lord, make me stronger. Lord, make me stronger. And they'll be crying and they'll be praying. Lord, make me stronger. You are quoting God. Tell God, God, I'm lusting after Sister Titi. You are now telling God, why you are trying to quoting God? Make me stronger. That's why you are taking more time to pray that prayer. And you are not seeing changes. Because you are quoting Him. What is the big deal there? It's you and God. Close the door. Lock the door. Close the window. Nobody hear you. Lord, Sister City is doing me one kind. God, you have to help me. Your son must not follow. Sister Titi is doing me one kind. Lord, yesterday when we were going, my hand was already moving to the back of Sister Titi. I had to use my... He said, a simple and a contrite heart I will not forsake. But you are there, you are quoting God. Lord, make me stronger. So the angels are looking, which strength are we bringing? Is this strength to run 100 meters? Or strength to walk from here to Abuja? Which strength are we bringing? Or strength to go and fight Anthony Joshua? Which strength are we bringing? You are quoting God. You say, God, I know you understand. God understands, but you have to take it your mouth. Likewise, when you are praying for these things, do you get it? Mention names. Be specific. You don't code it. But you know one of the reasons why we generalize, Lord, our teenagers, you are in a hurry in the place of prayer. Have prayer journals. My dear brother that taught me that lesson, your greatest message is your body. I remember as we were growing up there, he had journals. He would write the name of people. And he will be praying and everybody. Everybody has a page. He will pray to a point, he will make some notes. He will move to the next page. When he's praying the next day, he will start from the last note he make about the person and continue. How to say, so everybody is praying for has a file before God. Keep files. Even when you are doing correct counseling, not the kind of counseling you are doing, correct counseling, every of the person you are counseling should have a file. They should have file. Oh, In our last session, we stopped here. You should be able to track it. So likewise, when you are interceding for people, you should be able to track your last communication with God about that person. What God told you, be able to track it. This is it. So you open the next file. But you are in a hurry. You just love 20 teenagers together. Oluwa, awon ọmọ wa. Ṣàánú fún wọn. You see, ṣàánú concept is a coded prayer. What are you saying? Gbà wọ́n là lọ́wọ́ kíni. But I can approach one of those boys and go before God and say, God, separate him from Tola, separate him from Tunde, separate him from Tayo. I might be on that one for 2 weeks. As one day, they will just fight. You know, there are some fights you fight, you don't know what caused the fight. You just fight, you don't know what caused the fight. When you know the cause, you'll be asking yourself, how can we be fighting over this simple thing? It was not them. You created the fight in the spirit realm. You separated them. Listen, and that's what the strategy. You must isolate teenagers. Learn how to isolate them. Because they get strengthened by network. It's the same principle in deliverance. Is somebody with me? In deliverance, you have to isolate that person from heavy backup spirits. Because if you are doing deliverance and you isolate the person, what went there? After a while, you roll up your shirt. You will off your shoe. Because as you are casting away, they are refilling with another one. As you are casting, they are refilling. You must first of all separate, isolate. So you might isolate that particular teenager from what you mention and say, I don't want to see you with that person again. I separate you in the name of Jesus. Whatever we bind on earth is bind in heaven. I bind your friendship. I bind your friendship. And you will soon know that your prayer is getting answered. You see, those ones you are binding, they will begin to hate you physically. In the physical realm, they will begin to hate you. They don't know why they are hating you, but you are binding them. And you say, come and greet me. You draw your enemy close. Then you go back, after they greet you, you even buy them meat pie and malt and zobo, you give it to them. You go back and go, Oluwa. In fact, so I give them that meat pie and zobo. Ajatuka ni say. Ajatuka ni say. So I eat that meat pie. Ajatuka ni. You want more? You want more? You feed your enemies till they do your bidding. So when you separate them, after separating, separation is concluded. Then you now start calling the boy. You will now say another thing. That laptop spoil. You say, we spoil people's laptop in prayer. Hey, God, we spoil people's laptop and phone in the place of prayer. You have separated him for his own teacher. If his phone and laptop gets spoiled, that is using for Yahoo, he cannot borrow their home. Shame. You don't make him to go and borrow. Because you know what he said, like, I will never ask anything from you. I will never give you anything. You know that bragging. So you are first of all broken. You are the one that spoiled the laptop. You knock her. Our laptop is spoiled. How much is it? Let's raise money. But you know what you did. You see, intercession is being specific. It's warfare. Are you getting it? It's strategic. You see, step by step. You are not in a hurry. You are doing it one by one. And as you mount it all, gradually, you will win the heart of that child. Yes, ma'am. Have I answered the question?
I have two questions. I'll ask one directly and then read the other one. Now, the first question is, how do you help a teenager that the parents